Okay, did it work this time? Oh, what happens whenever I try and plan my live stream to kind of let you guys know that I'm going live? Something always happens and it never works properly. Okay, let's see. Let's get this all set back up again. Sorry, guys. This is a little bit of a mess today. Okay, hello. Welcome. Let me just reposition the camera again and let me get set back up on here again. How is everyone? Okay, I think it's working now. Let's see. I'm trying to get chat set up on here, so just a second. Live. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I've got the chat muted on here so I can still see you guys. Oh my goodness. So that was fun. How is everyone doing? The world is crazy right now, so I hope everyone is well. I guess the reason I wanted to do this live was just to kind of, bring that community back together. I'm sure a lot of us are really missing hanging out with people and talking with people and just being around people in general. So I really wanted this project to be something that we could all do together and have fun with. So yes, for those of you who don't know what this is a song for Butterick 4790. This is the famous WalkAway dress. So yeah, I hope everyone is well. Let's just see. I'm just gonna wait a minute for everyone to get in here. Losing sound and picture. Oh no. Let's see. It might be on my end. My internet has been really bad lately. So we'll see. Okay. After the lockdown, love to connect. Yes. How is everyone doing? Oh. Can see and hear you just fine. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people are, let's see. Having a circle skirt. So how many of you are going to be joining in the sewing portion of the Sewalong today? It doesn't matter if you're working on this project or another project, just sewing in general. Oh, thank you. Yeah, cabin fever. Definitely having cabin fever. No, I think I've left the house twice in the past 2.5 weeks, and one of those times was to go grocery shopping, and the other time was to go for a very long walk yesterday. So, yeah. Okay. So, for the Sewalong, I have already actually cut out my pattern. I wanted to do kind of like a test run last night, just to make sure. I felt something wasn't right with my fabric, so I picked up my fabric, I laid out all my patterns and everything, and I realized that my fabric was not 54 inches wide like I thought. It was 42 inches wide. So I actually had to modify my pattern a little bit. So I drafted my pattern so it would fit on 54 inches wide. And because my fabric was 42 inches wide, I actually had to make an extra piece for the back. So let me show you guys. So yes, I have already cut out all my fabric. The back portion of this, since it's under the circle skirt, I am going to be piecing in this piece here into the back just to make it that extra width that I need. But yeah, I'm moving things along. Had to do serious pattern modifications. Yes, definitely there's a lot of different modifications for this pattern. So anyways, I don't want to talk too long. I just kind of want to get started on things. Now, I have chats up here, but they do disappear sometimes. So I do have chats on the iPad as well, just down here. Because that way I can also read your guys' chats while I'm at the sewing machine as well. So I am just going to reposition this a little bit. Oh, and I just realized I didn't turn my lights on. 1 second. There we go. Got my cute little fairy lights on in the background now. So, took some tracking through social media, but you found me. Yay! Welcome! Okay. So, so many projects, it all counts. Yes, all sewing projects count. I think, I don't know, we're all just here to have fun. So, I guess first things to do, I'm going to start with piecing together my pattern here with the back piece and just kind of chat with you guys while I do that. Curious to see me work. Okay, well, I tend usually when I work just to kind of like put my head down. I usually have an audiobook on while I'm working. So I've actually been listening to, I think it's book 6 of Outlander. So Breath of Snow and Ashes. I have a thing through my library where I can listen to audiobooks for free. It's really, really nice because I don't have to leave the house and I just have to type in my library card number and my library just lets me get audiobooks for free online. So it is really nice. Outlander is a book. Yes, Outlander is a huge book series. Actually, let me show you. So this is book 1 and it goes all the way to here. And then this is like an Outlandish companion. So these are all the Outlander books and they're huge. Like the average book, oh, how long are they? Let's see. This one is just under 1,000 pages long. So this is the one I'm currently listening to online. But yeah, the Outlander books, they're amazing. They are so good. So yeah. Yes, updating a library card. Libraries are amazing. I don't know why more people don't utilize them. Oh my goodness, the Outlander books, there is so much information in there. I absolutely love them. Absolutely love them. There, of course, is some areas that I skip over just a little bit. I'm not too fond of reading certain scenes, so I usually just skip over them and then, I don't know. They're good. War and Peace, the book series. I actually do have War and Peace. I haven't read it yet. I bought it the first year I went to university. Okay, I bought War and Peace and Vogue magazine, and I got some really funny looks from the cashier when I was checking out. It was quite funny. Okay. So yeah. So wondering how helpful was my fitting video for you guys. I don't know how many of you watched it, but I'm curious as to if that was helpful for anyone. Sewing the lining in the black dress. I'll be back for chat soon. Okay. I'm sewing. Gentleman Jack. Okay, I'm glad you guys thought that was helpful. Yeah, there was a couple of things that I actually had to change afterwards. So I had enough fabric for the pattern as is, and so I did have to slightly change the length of my skirt because of course bought the amount that it said on the pattern, or at least I had the amount that said on the pattern. And so when I went to go lay everything out last night and I didn't have enough, I actually had to trim my skirt down 3 inches, I guess an inch and a half on either side, so it's 3 inches per panel, so I would have enough material to fit. So that was fun. Anyways, did I? Oh no, I forgot to mark something. 1 second. Yeah, so I was really just scraping by getting this all set up. Okay, so first things first I'm going to do is repiece the bit. Those joining, I had to modify my skirt panel and add a bit of extra in here because it wouldn't fit on my fabric. So that is fine there. And this one is down here. And that's just getting clipped. Okay, so for cleaner finishes for my pattern, I've decided for the seams that I'm doing here, I'm going to do a French seam on the shoulder bits just because that'll be nice and clean up there. And then I'm also going to do French seams, very, very tiny French seams. Live stream hasn't caught up with you. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I'm going to do tiny, tiny French seams on the pieces that I'm piecing in tiny French seams. So yes, yeah, I'm just piecing these pieces on, and then I'm going to start the actual sew along. Do you guys find videos like this helpful for you where we're kind of just chatting and sewing? Because I'm curious if I'm thinking about possibly continuing this format for at least the next little while. Like I will be putting out regular videos, obviously. There we go. Let's see. But if you guys are interested in more kind of live sewing, just let me know in the comments. Because I don't know, I'm definitely adding pockets. Okay. So yeah. Also, don't forget, turn on your irons. You are going to want an iron. Ironing things as you go definitely makes your projects definitely makes your projects a lot more have a bit of a professional finish. So yes. Why? Okay, yes. Well, I've discovered actually that there's a book that was put out with all the patterns on the Great British Sewing Bee. So the book actually has all the instructions and everything for those patterns. So I don't actually know. I can't even remember how I came across that site. I think I was actually on Pinterest, and I randomly stumbled across it, and I'm like, hey, I want to try and keep this more positive today. I'm just gonna leave that there. Okay, so I've got the first piece that I'm piecing on there, and now I'll just do the other piece. And of course I am doing these wrong sides together because I am going to be doing French seams. So yes, McCall's does have a lot of info on their page. trying to think. I can't even remember what I was going to say there. Okay, can't actually see what I'm doing. Okay, would you guys like me to angle down the camera so you can see what I'm doing? So it'll just be a little bit of talk for a couple minutes, and I'll still be able to see your chats because I have them down here. So give me some thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know. Yes, please. Okay. So I'm going to angle this down. Okay. How is that? Can you see that? Okay. That is good. Okay, very good. Thank you. So I am just pinning my pieced panel together right now. And this is just going to be a very, very tiny French seam. Yes, I would love to try and do multi-camera streaming, but I haven't been able to figure that out yet. There was a channel I was looking at for how to do that, but it has to be set up through a laptop, and I do not have a laptop. I only have a... So, anyways, so I have this piece pinned and this piece pinned, and I'm just going to quickly do a very, very tiny 1/4 inch seam along here. Multi-camera streaming works better on Twitch. I've never tried Twitch before. But yeah, okay. So I'm just going to angle this back up while I go over to the sewing machine. And you guys get to hear how loud my industrial is today. That'll be great. Let's grab these. And grabbing this so I can still read your guys's tweets, or not tweets. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, just do a quick little stitch here. Sorry, I'm not chatting much, guys. It's not very easy to chat and sew at the same time. Actually, while I'm here, what are you guys working on if you are not doing the sewing along today, or sew along with me today? The dishes! Yay! Household chores, they never end. Zelda Cosplay. I love Zelda. I haven't played that game in a while. I was so excited when the Skyward Sword came out. I went and bought the special nunchuck for the Wii, the gold one. I was so excited for it. empty out your sewing room to completely organize it. That is awesome. Yeah, definitely that is the way to go. Still, like, kudos to Morgan for helping me out with that. That was huge. Okay. Let's just re-angle that. Okay, so I have very, very tiny seams here now. And before I press this, I'm just grabbing my rotary cutter and I'm just cutting even closer to the edge. I really need to change my rotary blade. I nicked a pin, so there's one section of my rotary cutter that doesn't cut anymore. But I feel I don't want to change it yet because I feel so wasteful. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, so that one's done. Trimming down this side. I have been using a rotary cutter for about 8 years now. So it's just practice. Definitely practice. Like, what my teachers got us to do is they drew a whole bunch of different lines on a scrap piece of fabric. They're straight lines, curvy lines, and you just learn to kind of keep the pressure. The ergonomical rotary cutters definitely help. But yeah, just go slow, and it's kind of just like sewing, using a sewing machine. You just kind of learn to keep things straight. An electric rotary blade sharpener. Ooh, that sounds fancy. Okay, so now that I have trimmed that down, I'm going to head over to my ironing board. Okay. And just bring this with me again. This is definitely going to be helpful. There we go. So when I'm doing a French seam, I always like to press the seam flat this way, on the way I've just sewn it. And then I turn this over. Find where I did the, no, that's still not straight. There we go. It's kind of weird seeing myself in the reflection, or because I have the video running for me as well. It's very odd. Okay, so then I find the seam and fold that over, and then give that a press for a nice clean finish. Okay. And where do my... There we go. And then I just pop a couple pins in just to keep everything secure. Oopsies. That was not straight. Okay. There we go. Oh, I have many oopsies in the sewing room. Yeah. If you guys could actually hear what I say in the sewing room by myself sometimes. Yeah, definitely there's some odd words that come out of my mouth. Okay, so that one is fine. And then I move to the other side, and I'm just piecing the other side. So does anyone have any kind of questions, I guess, about any things that I can, I guess, answer or talk about while I do kind of just simple things like this? Oh, there have been many. Most of the Dutch I know is swear words. So I'm not proud of that because I really should know more Dutch. But yes, I tend to swear in Dutch when I'm in the sewing room. It's a bad habit, but yeah, it happens. How is my Worth gown coming along? I have bought the materials for it, so I have all the materials. I haven't, since I guess I put out my pillow, still waiting to purchase my pearls. So the pearls I've decided on are from Fire Mountain Jewelry, I think. They're Swarovski crystal pearls. So they are a bit more expensive than I was hoping for, so I'm just waiting to save up funds for that right now. But yeah, my Worth gown is, I'm still doing a lot of planning, a lot of research. I don't think I'll ever stop researching. I still want to make a couple things before I officially start it, get on with it, I guess. Hand sewing a pair of combinations. Okay. What is the decision behind the French seam? So I chose to do the French seam just because that way it'll be a nice clean finish on the inside of the garment. I could have serged the edges and just sewn it up and it'd be fine. I just really didn't want my fabric to fray. And because I'm looking for a really nice clean finish on the inside, that's kind of why I chose to go with the French seam. So it really is, it's preference. Yeah, like if you really, really wanted to, you could go with more a couture style finish and use, I guess, what is it called? Whipped? No, overcast seams. So that's like more of a couture finish instead of going with something like serging. But I just really like the clean lines of what a French seam looks like. Cursing in Japanese and Chinese is fun. Yeah, Dutch swear words do not translate to English well. No, I think my mom had a lot of siblings. My dad had a lot of siblings. My mom actually was born in Holland. And so she speaks like a mixture of Dutch and Frisian. And so my understanding of the language is kind of a mixture of those, which is very interesting. Okay, so I've pressed out my seams. I'm almost ready to actually begin the sewing process of the WalkAway dress. Okay. Seriously, I love how fast this machine can go. Oopsies. I was not paying attention there. I need to fix that. Yes, this is all being recorded right now, so it will all go onto my channel once the broadcast is done. So, yeah. So for anyone who's not able to stay and watch, you can come back and watch this later. I'll keep it on the channel. Okay. Do you need to add seam allowance to do a French seam? When doing a French seam, you usually want to add a bit of extra seam allowance. If you are really well practiced with them, you can get away with not adding the extra seam allowance. But by adding the extra seam allowance, you give yourself just a little extra wiggle room for mistakes. So that is always really nice. Still trying to build machine confidence. Yeah, I've been sewing for over 20 years, so definitely it's something that you get more confidence the more you sew. My I guess big thing, like I didn't really start building bigger costumes. Like my historical stuff, I didn't start until I was 18. So definitely, you kind of just learn as you go. But the more you sew, the more you get better at it. And the saying is true. If you practice something, what is it, for 10,000 hours, 20,000 hours to become an expert? That saying is very true. Mind you, I don't think I am by any means an expert. I am still very much learning my trade, but it's fun. Oh, yeah, I was one of the girls in my sewing class in university. She sewed through her finger, and thankfully she did not hit the bone. She just kind of sewed through the side, but that was a great experience to witness. Definitely, like, I guess I've been sewing with this in industrial for 7 years now, so I'm used to how fast it can go. There's machines, though, you can, like a lot of the newer ones and more expensive ones, you can change how fast it goes. I really like this one because it's all foot pedal, and then everything listed up with your knees. That's really nice. Nothing, nothing. You can lift things up with your hand, but I just like that I can lift things up with my knee because it makes my sewing go a lot faster. Oh. Okay, let's finish the seam and then I'll come back to you. Okay. Somehow managed to mess up the cutting layout. That was actually one thing that my teachers told me when I was in school, was always try and lay out your fabric before you cut it, because if I had cut out my fabric last night before actually testing this, I would have also really messed up my cutting layout, because I realized that's why I'm piecing this piece in here, is because my fabric wasn't wide enough. So I laid out all my pieces just before cutting anything, and that way I can actually make sure that everything will fit. So that's like a huge thing that my teachers always told me to do before cutting. I've done that myself many times where I cut something out and then I don't have the fabric, and it's not fun. It's a horrible feeling when you realize that you cut something wrong and you can't fix it, or you really have to piece it together to fix it. Okay, let me quickly press this seam and then I will start transferring the dart placement onto the fabric. I tend to hum a lot while I am sewing as well. I don't know. Do you guys sing or hum a lot while you are working on things? Yeah, sewing over your fingers, not fun. 0 out of 10, would not recommend. Okay, so now that my pattern is how it should have been in the beginning, it's time to start putting the dart placement down. Oh. Okay. So something that I really love when tracing out my patterns is, this is called, carbon paper. So this you lay underneath the fabric, and then you use one of these little guys and you trace over top of your dart pattern, and it goes onto your fabric. So these, I love this stuff. You can get it in huge sheets. But yeah, I definitely recommend if you guys are looking for this. I think it's transfer paper or carbon paper is what you can find what it's called. So let's get this laid out. So you can do it this way, where the fabric is on top and the carbon paper is on the bottom, or, which is the way I'm gonna do it. There we go. Okay, so my dart is under here. I'm just going to put some pattern weights on here so this doesn't move. And then using my tracing wheel, I'm just going to go over this. Let me just make sure that it's making sure that I had it on the right side. And then when I get to the end of the dart, I always like to mark it with a little thing like that, making sure that that is the end of the dart. And then I'm just going to go back over here. There we go. And so if you look there, well, you guys can't really see it, but there are now very, very fine dots that I can follow. And one thing, if you're doing more fiddly work, I definitely would then go over this with thread tracing and just do a quick running stitch just to trace out the dart. But since this is not really fiddly, I'm just gonna go ahead without doing thread tracing. So next is this one, my little side dart here. And then moving this down here. Feel like I'm lost. I haven't read. Okay. Okay. There we go. Make sure that's in the right place. There we go. Okay, so that is the darts for one side, and then I just repeat on the other side. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm being so quiet. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here, but my my thing is a little bit slow. Okay, that is on there. one down. I'm going to have to move this up a bit. If you haven't moved too much, just transferring the darts right now. Also, for anyone who is just arriving in the chat, this will be up on the channel, so you can watch the playback once this is done for part 1 today. Also, if you're hearing any interesting noises in the background, this is my first time doing a live with my kids still awake. So just a heads up. Have I made any other vintage patterns? I don't think I've made several vintage patterns, but I haven't actually done any for my channel. So if you guys are interested in more vintage patterns, just let me know, because I definitely love sewing vintage patterns. 1940s is my jam, but I am not against the other eras or time, decades, whatever you want to call them. I definitely love them as well. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, are you guys, so this is if you guys are asking about this, it is, transfer paper or, oh, I said the other word, I can't think of it right now. Carbon paper. Carbon paper is another word for this. Essentially, it just has, one side has a thing that you can roll over with a stick. Oh my goodness, I can't think right now. With one of these tools. Spiky wheel, tracing wheel, and it just transfers over darts, and it just makes it easier for transferring things over. Okay, and then this one, and I forgot to do this one on the other side. Where did it go? Where did my pattern piece go? Well, ended up on the floor. There we go. So the outlines from this one are very faint. The carbon paper does come in other colors, which is very useful. But I only have the blue carbon paper right now. Hello, very bored and isolated Canadian. I hope you are well. Streaming brain is a thing. Yes, I 100% agree with that. There are times when I've said things that I'm like, I knew the word for that. Why couldn't I have just said that word? Yeah, great fun. And then you listen back to it later on when you're editing, trying to add things to it to make sure you don't miss anything that you said you were going to add, and you realize, oh, that's the word I was searching for. Very simple word to say. Done that many a times. Okay, so I'm almost finished transferring all my darts for this, and then time to get to pinning it. Also, for today, we are only going to be going to, what is it, step 9. So essentially we're getting everything sewn together and then just letting it hang overnight. And then we'll pick up where we left off tomorrow. So, yeah. So this can go away now. And I'm just going to take this down and see if you guys can see this or not. One second. So I don't know if you can see that there or not. So this right here, oh, there you go. Can you see that? That is like the very faint line that's left behind from the transfer paper. So you can go over that, which is actually what I'm probably going to do with. So it's a very, very faint line. So I really like these chalk pens for going over it. This one is a clover. So essentially, you just find where the line is. Stops right there. Okay. So, and then the chalk clover pen brings out the line just a little bit more. It makes it a little bit easier to see. Nope, that's not right. There. So yeah, fun times. Sewing is not a lot of sewing happens when you're sewing, I suppose. It's a lot of prep work just to make things work. Where do you get the chalk pens? These ones I got from Dress Sew, which is downtown Vancouver. I'm pretty sure you can order them online. I may have posted them, but they're just like little pens like that, and then it comes with a lid. And it's a very, very fine tip. I don't know if you can see that, but it just moves the chalk on there. And they are refillable. So yeah, you can just add more chalk, which is really nice. I'm actually getting low, so I will need to get a refill pretty soon. But they come in pen shapes. They also they look like tailor chalk. So you can get them in different shapes and everything, which is really, really nice. Yes, Dress Sew is so nice. The first time I went there, I swear I spent like 3 hours in there, because I was not used to a fabric store having 2 different floors. That was astounding to me, being a very small island girl. So yeah, it was a nice little surprise. That goes to there. And then the other one was right here. There it is. So yeah, definitely outlining does help, or thread outlining if you don't have the chalk handy, or even just using plain tailor's chalk is useful, because tailor's chalk will disappear. Actually, let me see if I have any. One sec. There we go. So I have a small little triangle left of tailor's chalk. Dry chalk. It is a dry chalk. So it's very, very fine, and it wipes off pretty easily. So like if this went through the wash, it would just disappear all the way. So yeah, it's very, very handy. Let me see if you guys can see this. So yeah, definitely there's many, many different types of chalk you can use for transferring things, which is really nice. And then this one here. So tailor's chalk definitely has a bit more of a waxy feel to it, which sometimes it's really great because it'll stay on a little bit longer. It really just depends on the chalk that you are familiar with. Taylor's chalk also comes in different colors as well. So I have a pink, a blue, and then a little bit of a white one. And then these chalks also come in different colors as well. What is that theme song? Yes, the pointy boob darts. So if you watched my, I guess, fitting of my dress, then you'll know that you want to have the darts finish at least an inch, a minimum of an inch away from the apex. Otherwise, you will get the lovely, lovely pointy darts, which is not, I'm not saying they're bad. Some people really like them, but pointy darts are not my thing. I tend to steer clear of the pointy darts. Yeah, I don't know. But everyone has their own taste, so if you like them, I am not knocking them. It's just not for me. Wasn't it the WalkAway dress? Yes, this is the WalkAway dress. The pattern number, there you go, 4790. So, yeah, I'm just going to take a quick drink of tea because my tea is getting cold. Okay. Almost finished marking the darts for the front panel. Yeah, very, very little sewing, just lots and lots of marking. Where does that stop? Okay, no, switching back to my chalk. Where did it go? Okay. Yeah, you can really tell how old my chalk is because the white has taken on more of a yellow hue. I think I've had this one actually since university, so that's like 7 years. Oh man. Okay, this one. So something I actually didn't really mention in the alterations video is I made my side darts actually quite a bit shorter and a little bit fatter. So because I needed to have the extra hip in, or extra room in the hips, I lengthened that area, and then to take it in at the waist, I just made these darts fatter and shorter. So it really takes it in still. Yeah. Easy seam ripping video to make that go faster. Which actually reminds me, I am getting close to 10,000 followers on Instagram. And when that happens, I am going to be having a giveaway for one of the specialty seam rippers. So if you guys can help me get to 10,000 on Instagram, because that way I can unlock the swipe up feature, which would be amazing. But yeah, if you guys want to help me get to 10,000, then I will be having a giveaway for one of the seam rippers. Because I know many of you were interested in the seam ripper from my video that I did for Secret Santa. So I contacted the person who makes them and I got another one for the giveaway. I wanted to see if they were able to produce more for people who follow me, but they felt that that was too much for them, so they have declined that. But you guys will be able to get your hands on one through the giveaway if you win. So that is kind of just heads up for you. Yeah, okay. So this is all marked out. And now it is time to start pinning the darts. Now, when you're actually doing these darts, I'm actually going to be trimming these darts because my darts are quite fat going into, or I guess, here, let's see if you guys can see this. There we go. So my darts are quite wide, and to try and keep a more slimmer look, I am going to be trimming these darts down and then overcasting the edges. That's not something that you need to do, but that is something I'm going to be doing just to make my darts a lot thinner. So yeah. Time to do a second mock-up. Ooh, good luck with the second mock-up. Okay. So, where is that point? There it is there. And then I have to find these points. Okay, and also when I pin my darts, I always try, just to make sure that everything is staying even, is, you guys probably already know this, but when you're following the line, you don't want to just pin on one side. I always try, so stick it in on this side, find the line on the other side, come on little dart, you know you can do it. So stick it on this side, find the line on the other side. There we go. And that keeps the darts nice and even. Better to have back of a collar in one piece or two. I don't know if you've watched Bernadette's video on collars, but if it's the under collar, I would probably do it in two pieces, and then the over collar do in one piece, because usually you want the under collar will have the bias, and then the over collar will have, I guess, the finished look. Have you tried the ladder stitch making your darts? I haven't. I haven't. I've seen it done before, but I haven't used it myself. Okay. This one did not pin correctly. Okay. Yay! First dart pinned. Okay, second dart is the wee little baby side dart. Let's see. Wow, we've already been going for over an hour. This is crazy. Always stitch the dart from the widest to the tip. I have heard it both ways. I've heard to go from the widest to the tip, and then I've also heard to go from the tip to the widest. So when sewing fish darts, which are fisheye darts, which are kind of like the darts that will be sewn under the bust, I've been told to go from the center and sew to the point, and then go back to the center and sew to the other point. So it really depends on who taught you to sew darts. I don't know if there's actually a correct way, but there's definitely a lot of different ways to sew them, and I think it really just depends on who taught you. So, yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being proven wrong. Don't tell it to my husband. Oh. Okay, so that is one. And then moving on to this one. Okay. Tempted to add sleeves to this in some way. I'm sure you could try and add like a ruffle sleeve to this. So if it just went around the sides and then kind of stopped right where it met in, I guess, the underarm, that would be really pretty to add a ruffle sleeve. The WalkAway dress. There was one from later on in the 50s where it was a wrap dress, so it didn't have the button closures down the front. And yeah, I'll share that link to that picture after the live stream. So definitely, if you're interested in something like that, definitely worth experimenting with. I think that would be really pretty. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. That is the way I was taught. Widest to the point. Yeah, so I think, yeah, definitely worth looking up. And also experimenting and creating new things. I love creating new patterns. It is so much fun. That one did not get pinned correctly. So yeah, the majority of the time when I'm working, I'm usually like double checking everything I do. Okay, so this is the center there. Alright, so how's everyone doing so far? This isn't the most lively chat on my end. I really do tend to go quiet when I sew, which is really nice for the introverted side of me. Okay. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Sewed your own undies. I'm actually in the process of, I don't know if you guys know the Watson pattern. It's a long line 1970s bra. So I think Cloth Habitat put it out. And it's a really, really cute long line bra. So I am going to be making that during quarantine. I bought that fabric a while ago. I also bought the pattern a while ago. So it's a really cute pattern. Not something I'm going to be showing on the channel because there are many channels out there that do bras and underwear and everything. But yeah, definitely it's worth looking into. Making your own is significantly cheaper. Yeah. Have several Watson bras. Yay! They're so cute. I picked up my materials from Blackbird Fabrics. They have some kits for you to make Watson bras. So very, very cute. And then the pattern for the Watson bras print off, which is really nice. So if you guys are stuck in quarantine, check out Blackbird Fabrics and the Cloth Habitat. They have a lot of really cute stuff. And I think there's actually several YouTube videos online for how to make them as well. So very useful if it is your first time. And for making bras, you just need a domestic machine. There's, I think, the straight stitch and the zigzag stitch. So yeah. But I can do a review of the pattern how I found the fit. But if you guys are really interested in that, I might give it a try. I guess. I don't know. Let me know. I've never really done reviews, I don't think, because most of the time I just use my own patterns. That was not correct. Where did that one go? So yeah. Sewing the darts by hand for the mock-up so I can watch you. Okay. Lessons on drafting vintage looking patterns. I could give that a try. Okay. There is, I bought several real vintage patterns that I really, really love. And they're not in my size at all. And I really want to try my hand at sizing them up. They're like 4 or 5 sizes smaller than me. So that's something that I am interested in trying. Because, yeah, I just find I love vintage patterns, but the ones that I've come across aren't in my size. So I definitely want to try sizing them up. Is that correct? Yes, that is right. Woohoo! 2 darts pinned! Yay! Okay. Yeah, these darts take a little bit of time, but if done correctly, they will look amazing. Also, if you are not sure about the dart fitting on you, like if you did the mock-up and you weren't sure about it, you can actually save the darts until the dress is mostly put together. So yeah, and then you can just pin it on yourself once everything is in, and then you can find like the correct placement where everything goes, which is really nice. Flying Dutch Woman, thank you for driving. Oh, thank you actually to all the truck drivers out there. That is amazing. Frozen, anyone else? Still going on my end because I've got a video here. I'm sorry. Not frozen here. If it has really frozen, try exiting and then coming back in. I've had that actually with a couple live streams that I've watched where I've had to exit it and then come back in, and then it works again. Okay. How does one iron a long piece of fabric that doesn't fit on the ironing board? If you are ironing yardage or meterage, I flip the fabric over one side of the board and then iron, and then as I go I try and roll and fold it so it doesn't recrease, and then just continue rolling and folding as I go. That is one way to do it. And then yeah, just kind of working as you go. If you have a big area that you can stretch the fabric out. That is also really nice. Yeah. Okay, so I have one more dart to pin here, and I can go over to the machine. Do you guys want to come over to the machine with me to see how I start, or are you guys just fine staying over on this side? Okay. Show us the sewing. Okay. I will bring you guys over there when I go to sew the darts. Okay. So how are you guys enjoying the live format? Is there any comments you wish to make this far? Or is it just nice having someone kind of talking? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I really wanted to try and do this on Zoom where we can all chat with each other. But I couldn't figure it out. And with Zoom, you can only do a limited amount of people. So I think you can only like have a maximum of 100 people in the chat room, which would really suck because then not everyone can join in on the chat. So nice to have someone around while sewing. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. Yeah, this is fun. It feels like I'm back in university. It's got that same kind of sewing vibe. You're doing your thing, but you're still able to chat with people, which is really nice. Okay. I've pinned all my darts. I'm just going to double check them to make sure everything is correct, and then I will bring you over to the sewing machine. Okay. This is going to take a little bit of moving, so bear with me, guys. Actually, I'm going to try setting you up. How is that? I don't want to burn. Okay, this is a very interesting angle. 1 second. Sorry if this is making anyone nauseous. It's not my intention. Okay, let's see. How's that, guys? GoPro for sewing. Yeah, that would be really make life a lot easier to have a GoPro. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna scoot over here. We will see how this is. Okay. Cool. So I am going to start on my side bust seams first, I guess you can call them. We'll call them that. The big darts. I am going to go start at the start of the big side. There we go. Okay, hope you guys can see this. What is going on? It is not stitching. 1 second. Oh. Boo. It came out of the eye. Okay, just quick repin that. Okay, there we go. Okay, now when I get to my dart point, most people have been told not to backstitch. I like to do 1 or 2 back stitches and then tie it off, just because I feel like it's a little bit more secure. So it really depends on what your style is. So I do 1, 2, pull it out. Just make sure that's all right. And then I tie it off. So it really depends, again, what you want to do. And then just a couple knots. There we go. So there we go. Okay, 1 down, however many left to go. So I lied. I'm gonna just do my I'm gonna stitch this however I want. I guess I'm gonna say I'm being lazy. Yeah, I'll say that. There we go. So for starting at the point here, I brought my needle down so it's right beside where the point is. And then I'm just going to crank it over by hand. And again, crank backwards 1. Okay. One, 2. I will tie these off in a minute. I'm just going to continue working and then I will tie them off when I get back to the table. Okay. So again, I bring the needle down. One, feel like I'm missing some of the live chat. Where is it? There we go. Finally, so glad you're here. Yes, I am still going to be here for a little while longer. I am only still technically on step 2 because I'm still working on darts. So yeah, I will still be here for a little while. Hope you and your family are okay. Yeah, we have been in self-isolation. So our government hasn't actually told us to, well, I guess now they've officially said stay home if you can. But we've been in self-isolation for I guess 2 weeks now. Yeah, it's been fun. Kids are not enjoying it. Kids are not enjoying it at all, but I would rather they not enjoy it and people stay safe than be all willy-nilly about it. So yeah, hope you guys are all safe. The chat is disappearing again on me. There we go. So I'm on to the next dart. Three down, 3 to go. Should have brought my iPad over because your guys' chats are disappearing on me again, which really is unfortunate. There we go. Okay. Are you guys joining in on the Jane Austen live, free live weekend that's happening this weekend? I think right now they're watching a movie, but there's Drunken Austin is putting it on Instagram. There's a whole bunch of people just hanging out and chatting Jane Austen this weekend. So if you're bored after this ends, definitely go check that out. I think they are doing a streaming of the 2005 Pride and Prejudice tomorrow. So Jane Austen Fest. If you look up Drunken Austen, it might not just be on Instagram. Just check out Drunken Austen on the internet, and it should come up for Jane Austen Fest from home this weekend. Okay, so I am on to my final dart for the front panel, and then I'm going to move over to the sewing machine. Or not the sewing machine, the ironing board. There we go. Final one. Okay, I'm going to move this over to the ironing board and I'll move you guys over in just a second. There we go. Before I do actually anything, there we go. Now, just getting my ironing tools out of here. So if you guys don't have a tailor's ham handy, you can use a towel as well. Just for shaping of the darts, the tailor ham is definitely very, very handy. Okay. So to get a nice finish on the dart, the main bust dart gets pressed down towards the waist. And then the waist bust dart, the one that goes down from the bust to through the waist, gets pressed towards the center. Oopsies. There we go. And then more dart for the other side for the bust dart. Come on. So many darts for one dress. Yeah, well, the front panel has 6 darts, and then the back panel has 2 darts. So yeah, definitely a lot of darts in here. If you were to make your own ironing ham, what would you fill it with? Well, traditionally they are filled with sawdust. So if you can get like a really, really dense sawdust and then just pack it in there. There is a link. I will add it to the description down below. There's a site for that tells you how to make your own tailor's ham. So they have the ham shape, and then they also have the rolled one. So yeah, I will link that down below, but if you look up how to make a tailor's ham, you should be able to find it as well. Otherwise, you could fill it with cabbage, as long as it's like really, really densely packed. Because like this thing, you can squish it a little bit, but it really doesn't move. But yeah, if you definitely want to try them, they are made with wool on the top and then a cotton on the bottom. And the wool is actually just to help with heat. When you're pressing, you get a nicer press when you have wool. So yeah. Okay, so let's see. Oh, for the side darts, I haven't pressed the side darts yet. They get pressed towards the front as well. And they're just like the little wee baby ones. Move to the other side. Lots and lots of pressing. Pressing is how you get a nice finish on your garments. Okay, I am going to move you guys back over to my main. Oh. This is all stuck. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. How's everyone doing? Okay, so we've been at this for almost an hour and 45 minutes. And we've got the front panel done. Yay! Okay. There we go. So I have put I still have my mock-up on here, but I'm just putting this on here for now. And I'm just gonna let this sit while I start on the other piece. Cool. I'm really liking how this looks. It's so pretty. Okay. There we go. So she is getting moved over there. She's just going to sit there until I am done the other piece. So, time to start on the second piece. And I'm going to have a quick drink of tea. There we go. I love this cherry print, or cherry blossom print. I think it's so cute. I've had it in my stash for, years, at least 5 or 6 years. Yeah, definitely, I really like it. Okay, so I'm going to move you guys back down so you can see what I am working on again. Okay, so for the back panel, or the upper back piece as it's called, it's really simple. All it just needs is the dart, and then we can attach it to the circle skirt portion. So there we go. Overall, this dress is really, really simple. I think the biggest thing that I've had with this dress is just the fitting issues. So I think once you get past there, the fitting of the dress is fairly straightforward, which is really nice. Now, if you look here, this is actually part of the selvage. My fabric wasn't wide enough and I didn't want to have to split this in two. So I did include the selvage in there, but it will be covered by my bio tape. So that is fine. But it's just, yeah, one of those things. It happens. But I can live with it. And since my fabric does have a little bit of a stretch, I can really trim that off if it's too noticeable. So yes. Okay, time to add the darts to this. I'm just gonna do that. Yeah. Sewing secrets. No one knows unless you tell them. The majority of the time, no one really notices at all. Unless, of course, you've got like two giant roses over your bosoms. then it's quite noticeable. Okay, marking the dart for this one. Went off there. So one. Two. Transfer or tracing over my darts quickly just so I get a nice clean. There we go. Okay. Doesn't really seem like this many darts in the pattern fitting episode. Well, I only showed half the darts when I was doing the pattern fitting. But yeah, all the darts were in there. So it's 6 on the front and then 2 on the back. So definitely a lot of dart shaping with this pattern. My center back skirt seam is on the selvage to reduce my fabric waste. Yes, my center back for my skirt is also on the selvage. I'm still going to be using a French seam on it just because I like the look of a French seam. You can also do serge the back of the fabric, zigzag over it. There's many different fabric stitches to finish off the back of the skirt. So yeah, I like the look of the French seam. I just really like how clean it is. Okay. So just pinning along there. These back darts are so simple. One and two. Okay. I live for French seams. French seams, they just make everything so nice. Another one is bound seams. I love the look of bound seams, especially if you have it without a lining in it. It just looks so pretty. They take a lot of. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and stitch this up. So I'll position it so you guys can still see me. There we go. Oopsies. Okay, so those darts are in. Just going to get the tops quickly. Okay. I like being here with all this positive energy. I'm glad you're here. We need more positive energy in the world right now. A lot of things that are happening, and positive energy, I think, is what everyone needs. Being aware of what's going on is good, but becoming absorbed in it is not good for you, and it's not good for anyone around you. So, yes, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so I'm going to press these darts in, and then I will just be a moment. Okay, so a nice clean finish on these darts. So It's looking so good. Okay, and I will bring this back down. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for a moment and work on the back panel of the skirt. Okay, this is the front and this is the back. So since I'm doing French seams, I am going to be, oh, 1 second. So yeah, since I'm doing French seams, I'm putting it with my wrong sides facing each other. There's the back. And there's the other back. Now, when sewing skirts, I always sew from the waist down, just because if there's any stretching going on, I like to know that the stretching is going down into the hem where I can trim it off easily and not up into the waistband where it could change the shaping. So that is what I'm doing right now. I just did it again. I put pins in my mouth. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't put pins in your mouth. It's such a bad habit and it is not a safe thing to do. But it is such a hard habit to break. Okay, I'm going to stitch this and then I'll be right back. There we go. Okay, so the back of the dress is sewn, or the back of the skirt is sewn together. And I'm just gonna cut this out again. Sorry if that made you guys sick at all. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to quickly press this, flip it around, and then sew the French seam to give it a nice clean finish. So just be a second. There we go. And now time to sorry if it is getting laggy, guys. I think my Wi-Fi is having issues. Around this time, it tends to get a little busy on my end. So if it cuts out, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and hurry this up as much as I can. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the French seam on the back of the circle skirt, and then it's time to attach the circle skirt to the back bodice. I love how fast these machines can go. Okay. The French seam is sewn. I'm just going to give this a quick, and then it's time to attach to the back bodice. It's a nice clean finish. Okay. So we have the circle skirt and we have the back bodice. This goes there. Let's see, what does this say? Okay, this says to stay stitch the upper edge of the skirt. So from stretching while we are working with it. So it is a very important step. Still going, sweetheart? Okay. There you go, guys. I will be back in just 1 second. Peter? Cool. Thank you. There you go. Okay, sorry about that. Just talking to game plan with my husband. I told him it to be about 2 hours and I'm running over my time. So I am going to stitch this up as quick as I can and then we will continue from there. Okay. So I have stay stitched the circle skirt. So the stay stitching will just keep the skirt from distorting, so that is a good thing to do. Okay, so turn this around. So now, with the right sides facing each other. Oh no! What's going on with my Wi-Fi? Sorry guys, it's glitching out. So I'm just gonna pin everything to here. Weld seam. So it'll still be nice and clean on the inside, but just because it's going around curves, French seaming around curves is not the funnest thing to do. It is possible, but I am not a fan of doing it. So yeah. Okay, this has stretched out a little bit. Let me check the other side. So this side is fine. This side is not, so I may have stretched this while stitching. So I'm just going to move. There we go. Make sure that is centered. Okay, yeah, that will be fine. What do you do if you stretch while you are stitching? It's a problem I have more often than I like. Try and let the machine guide you. Try and keep. It's a tricky situation. It's try and let the machine do as much of the work as possible. So there are cases where it will stretch, like if you're working with a really flimsy material. And in those cases, I try and use material like a tissue in between or tissue backing just to try and keep things from stretching. It really is just, you have to learn how the feel of the fabric as you're working with it. And it's something you kind of just pick up with practice. So um, don't know if you guys can hear that, but my landlords are renovating downstairs. So I hear a saw going. Okay. Want the fabric of my current dress. Thank you. Let me see. What is the name of it? On the edge of the fabric, it actually has. It is called. I don't know if you can read that. Hamani Falls by Wilmington Prints. So check it out online. You may actually be able to find more of it if you contact them. I don't know if you guys can read that or not. Yeah, I will put it in the description of the video if maybe you guys will be able to find more of it. I'm not sure, but I've picked this up at Fabricland several years ago. Okay. When sewing the seams, place the fabric that needs to be eased against the feed dogs. Yes, that is a great trick, is especially when you're sewing sleeves, to have the gathered side against the feed dogs, because the feed dogs will naturally just feed it in a lot smoother than trying to fight with the machine. And yeah, feed dogs are great for easing things in. Okay. How is housing where I am? Housing is not cheap. um, my husband has a very good job, so I can stay home with our kids while he goes to work, which is really, really nice. But yeah, housing is not cheap around here. Um, we have moved a couple times. Oh. Yeah, we've moved a couple times since coming back to the east or the west coast. Um, yeah, it's not easy to find, especially like we really lucked out with this place. It's a 3-bedroom, which yeah. What am I sewing together now? So I just finished pinning the back bodice to the circle skirt. So I'm going to stitch that in place, and then I'm going to stitch the shoulder pieces together, and then that is it for today's live stream. So just a couple minutes longer, I guess, maybe about 10 minutes. And then the dress has to hang up overnight, and so it will do its bias stretching. If you guys don't have a mannequin that you can put your dress form on, I definitely recommend putting it on a hanger and then pinning the skirt closed. So that way, like the any bias stretching that's going to happen in the skirt can happen where it's supposed to. So 2-bedroom apartment for 500 with utilities. Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, paying a little bit more than that here. But hey, we don't have snow, so you know, you win some, you lose some. Definitely, I was looking at, oh, there was housing. It was going for like $1 for a parcel of land, where because they were trying to rebuild a ghost town out in the East Coast. My husband and I definitely looked at that, we're considering it, but yeah, just it didn't happen. But yeah, that would have been amazing. Okay, anyways, I'm going to stitch this and then I'll be right back. Darn it. Got a little bit of the hem, or the skirt. Caught a little bit of the skirt, so I'm going to have to unpick that and refinish that. How's everyone's dresses and projects going so far? Yeah, because we are getting pretty close to the end of this or today's live stream, and then we'll be finishing up in tomorrow. Let's see. Just about to start sewing darts. Yay! Okay. Fix that one. Let me just see if there's any other areas that I might have caught. Nope, that's all good. All good. So just that one area that I caught extra fabric. Okay. Still cutting pieces. Yay! Keep on, keep on. This will be available to print playback if you want to see what it's or see what I did. So, okay. Going to bed. Well, I hope you have a lovely sleep. I'm going to quickly finish this up and then attach the front and back pieces together. go. Okay. This is obviously the back, but yay! Oh, this is so nice. Okay. So now that I've sewn the front and back pieces together, oh, 1 second. Yes. Once this live feed ends, please post progress pictures on Instagram and share it, and just I would love to see what you guys are working on. So, or even just how far you've gotten today. Yeah, I'm really excited. Okay, so next is sewing the front and back pieces together. So like I had said earlier, I'm going to be doing French seams on mine. So I'm sewing with the wrong sides together first, then trimming and ironing, and then sewing the right sides together. So, yay! Okay. Now, I will talk more tomorrow about how I'm finishing the inside seam. I'm just not gonna do that today. Yes, the stream will stay up on the channel once it's done. It'll be in the live section area. So I have a specific playlist just for live streams. So you'll be able to see all of them there. Okay, so I have my bodice front and bodice back. And let me swivel this down until you... I'm still going to be here for at least another 15 minutes. But yes, you can go back and watch the live stream as soon as it finishes processing. So, wrong sides together. Where'd my pins go? There they are. There we go. So I'm just going to quickly stitch these up and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay. So there are my shoulder pieces. Trimming down the seam. And now I'm just going to do a quick press. Now, because the shoulders are actually, the shoulder seams are curved, I like to use a tailor's ham just to press it out. You don't need to again, but I just like doing that. Okay. So shoulder seams are pressed, and now just finishing up the French seam. Okay, now I'm just going to press the French dart to the back. There we go. Or not French dart, the French seam to the back. There we go, guys. So we have reached the end of today's live stream so far. We will be back here again tomorrow. Just take my sweater off and I can show you what it looks like so far. So, it's a little goofy over my dress, but whatever. So that will come around like that. Put a little pin in it. Move this down so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And then the skirt portion will come like this. So you can see the dress so far. Oh my goodness, I'm really excited how this is looking. So tomorrow is after we've let the dress hang for a little bit, it needs to have the waist or the hemline trimmed or just evened up, just because the skirt will stretch slightly with the bias. And then after that, oh, 1 second. So then after that, it's just adding on all the many yards of bias tape. Looks great. All that fit paid off. Yes, definitely fitting made a huge difference for this. I love how it looks. A couple things that I'm doing differently. In the instructions, they say to add snaps, like snaps down the center front. I've actually changed that out, and I'm going to be using hook and eye. So that is something that I'm going to be changing out tomorrow. And then for the buttons down the center front for decoration, I'm actually using my own, or making my own covered buttons from scraps. So that is something to look forward to tomorrow. I am really happy with how this looks. Okay, so tomorrow we will be back here 1 o'clock again Pacific Standard Time to finish the dresses. I would love to see what you guys have been working on during this live stream, so don't forget to use the hashtag ERCCost or ER on Instagram, or Sewalong Dress, WalkAway, oh, what was it? WalkAway Sewalong, or can't remember the last one. B4970 Sewalong. Okay, if you check out my thing, I will post my progress with all the hashtags. So anyways, I will see you guys all tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!